The security camera outside Hassan's snack stand had caught plenty of strange things over the years, mostly drunk teenagers and the occasional stray dog knocking over a display rack. Hassan kept it mainly for insurance reasons. On a humid night in late spring, it caught something that would end up on local news within 48 hours. A woman in a red shirt sat alone on the bench near his stand, watching the foot traffic with an attentiveness that, on its own, meant nothing. People sat on that bench all the time waiting for buses or resting their feet after a shift at the nearby shops. What the footage shows next is a young boy, maybe 6 or 7, wandering near the bench, glancing around like he'd lost track of someone in the crowd. The woman shifted closer, said something the camera's audio never picked up, and reached toward his shoulder. That's when Marcus Webb, a regular at the stand who stopped by most nights for coffee before his late shift, noticed the boy's face. Marcus had 2 kids of his own and had learned the hard way what real fear looked like on a child versus simple shyness. This wasn't shyness. He moved fast, cutting between the woman and the boy before her hand reached him, taking the boy firmly by the arm and walking him briskly away from the bench toward Hassan's stand and the brighter lights near the corner. To anyone glancing at the footage cold, it looks exactly like an abduction. A grown man gripping a frightened child's arm, moving with urgency, pulling him away while a woman watches. Online, when the clip surfaced days later, pulled from Hassan's camera during a review of footage tied to a string of market thefts, that's precisely how thousands of people first read it. Marcus became, almost overnight, the internet's prime suspect in what people assumed was a failed kidnapping attempt. His face spread across local pages within hours. Someone identified the street he lived on. A neighbor he barely knew gave an interview describing him as quiet, the kind of comment that sounds neutral until it's stitched into a story already convinced of guilt. Hassan watched the comments pile up beneath the clip on his own page. People he'd served coffee to for years now calling for Marcus's arrest, and felt sick about ever having let the footage leave his hands. By the second day, a local news segment had picked up the clip, blurring Marcus's face but running the headline anyway, asking viewers if they recognized the man in the video. Tip lines lit up with names that weren't his. His employer received calls. His daughter came home from school asking why kids were talking about her dad online. Marcus stayed quiet through all of it, refusing to post anything in his own defense, telling his wife he didn't trust himself to explain it calmly yet. Not while strangers were still deciding who he was based on, 3 blurry seconds of footage stripped of everything that came after. It took mall security, not the internet, to settle the question. A separate camera covering the corridor, Marcus walked the boy into less than 90 seconds after the bench told a very different story than the clips circulating online. He'd brought the child straight to the security desk and stayed with him until the boy's actual mother, frantic after losing sight of him for barely 2 minutes, tracked him down through mall staff. The boy, once calm, confirmed it. The woman on the bench was a stranger who'd claimed to know his mother and offered to walk him over. He'd started to believe her, right up until Marcus intervened. Police connected the woman to 2 prior reports from the same corridor. Never enough for charges, but enough to flag her. Hassan's full footage became the clearest evidence they had on her, yet Marcus never sought the attention. He asked Hassan to take the clip down, telling the one reporter who reached him that any decent person paying attention would have done the same. What the camera caught wasn't a kidnapping. It was 30 seconds where a stranger's instinct mattered more than how the moment looked from a distance. Would you have believed your eyes or waited for the rest of the story?